All right, so we got the Lakeside Bungalow from Sam's, kit made by Kidcraft. We opened the box, we got our pieces laid out, and we unfolded the house. So now the first step is we have 4 of these pieces, number 2s, and those go where the house is folded. One here. Pretty much 4 pieces. One here, one there, and the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Screws that I use are the longer screws. And that's E, should have 66 of those. When you put these, just make sure they're flush with the top, and the bottom is flush with the bottom edge of the house. They provide a bit for the screws. So I've got all 4 of these in place. There's this piece right here. That's just to keep the house from folding. See at the bottom. And those go on the side of the house, on the top and the bottom. Next is on the front, you have pre-drilled holes here. Should be 4, total of 8, 4 on each side, on each corner here. Same screw. And then in the back, same thing. 4 pre-drilled. They're hard to see, but they're there. So front and back, total of 8 screws. We'll do that now. The 4 corners are all drilled in. Now, next step is doorbell. We're looking for the doorbell. There's the doorbell. We're gonna use these little screws labeled B. Doorbell's in. They don't really tell you, there's no pre-drilled holes for the doorbell, but it'll go in fine. I've got mine about 12 inches from the top rail. Next is the mail slot. Same screws, the B screws. And this, you just want to center it so that the little slot aligns with the hole there. You'll feel it where it kind of clicks in. Again, no pre-drilled holes, but it shouldn't be a problem. They're not big screws. I'll be screwing. Now slot is in, doorbell is in. Now the handle, the outside and the inside, this actually goes down here. You want to position it where it meets these 2 boards right there. And you just want to make sure it's nice and straight. So I'll be drilling that in now. Same screw, B, the B screw. Door handle is in. Get one for the outside. Same on the inside. Next steps are going to require this piece, and this piece. I'm going to start by attaching this to this. This is number 3. This is the closing mechanism for the door. You're going to put this piece there. And then you use the C screw, size C. And it says to do it by hand on these 2 pieces. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we'll move on to the door. Okay, this is put together now. what you do is from the inside of the house, you're gonna put this here. The instructions say a certain length from the bottom to the top to measure, but I'm doing it by eye. It's not rocket science. I'm gonna put mine there a little higher than the handle, and then the other metal piece goes on this side of the door, and it'll catch on to that magnet there. So just align both of those and it'll work just fine. There it is. Use a G screw. So now I'm just gonna put the other latch on the door, and when the metal latch hits the magnet, it'll just catch there. And here we got Alexander, very anxious to play with his new house.
Hi, it's me, Alexander.
Show us how the door mechanism works.
So, you open this door.
Hey, you didn't ring the doorbell. What if somebody's home?
Oh yeah, somebody's home. You ring the doorbell.
Looks like nobody's home. Let's open the door.
Yeah.
All right.
Then walk into here.
Oh.
It's not all the way complete yet, but...
All right, I did a little mistake here. I went ahead and put on the windows. They're very easy. They use, again, the B screw. Line them up at the bottom so they're flush at the bottom. You'll have a gap on the top that'll be covered by the roof. But the reason I did that was because the piece with the latch for the door only aligns at a certain spot. So I should have measured like they said, but that's fine. I screwed it and lowered the hinge on the door as well, and I had to bring my my handles a little higher. But now it's all fixed and all aligned. If you don't want to measure, put on your windows, and that'll show you exactly where this piece is gonna go, and then you can follow that with the door, and you'll see that your handles will go higher. But all fixed now. Windows are in, and on to the next step. Next step is actually to put on this window. These are very simple to do. 6 screws, the B screw.
Yeah.
And just put it in the front as you please, whatever looks more attractive to you. There's gaps, so not a big deal, but just so you know, there are gaps if you prefer the gap on a certain side more than the other. I just kind of centered it. Now we go towards the left side of the house. If you're looking at the house head on, this would be the left. Next is that window. We'll put it on this. Self-explanatory, just again, B screws all around. This looks like it takes 14 screws in total. I'll be screwing that on now. And here it is drilled. This window's got a weird angling to it. Just try to align every screw to the wood. Do the top and bottom first, and then the sides. It's got a weird angle, but kind of just force. Next, we're gonna use another number 2 piece. Find a number 2 piece, and we're gonna put it here. This is towards the back of the house, the back window. And it's just gonna serve as support for a ledge that's gonna go there. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw that in, and on to the next step. All right, that's nice and flush and centered. Next piece is number 4 piece. It's beige. That's gonna go here. Top of that ledge with 4 E-screws. Next is the doggy door. That goes in the back also, just underneath the ledge we just did. There's no pre-drilled holes there. We're gonna use the small B screws And remember to put washers on these, labeled D. The washers are labeled D. Holes are pre-drilled on this, and then you just want to align it to this ledge here. And we'll do that now. Doggy door's in. Now we move into the right side of the house. And find two number 5 pieces. Number 5 pieces. Those are gonna go here. Screwed in by 2 E screws. Those are in. They don't have a specific way of going. You could put them on either way. They'll fit in either way. No specific orientation. Now we need another number 2 piece. That's gonna go in between those. Centered and flush with the top ledge. All right, number E screws again on this one. All right. All right, that's in place. Now you gotta find a number 7 piece. It's gonna be a beige piece. That's gonna go on top of here. This is gonna go flush with the piece down here that we installed. Let's go flush with that. And you're gonna need 6 type C screws for this here. All right, on to that one. All right, that's in. Now you gotta find 2 number 8s. Again, beige. And just line them up. One towards the front. One towards the back here. You're just pretty much creating a nice little shelf. Again, type C screws. I'll be drilling those now. That's in place, and next we just we gotta put this thing together. This all comes in its own bag and with its own little screws. It's not labeled, it's all together in the package. But the screws are for these. To the bottom, you screw them in to the bottom with a screwdriver. Sink is together. Now I want you to measure from here to the sink, to the edge of the sink, 7 7/8. I'm gonna measure that with a ruler, and then on this part here, they want you to measure to be 3/4 of an inch. And then next to that will go the stove. Sink is drilled in. The measurement is more for kind of keep you straight where you're installing, but nothing else goes on top of there, so you can kind of install it as you please. I went with the measurements because of my first mistake over there, but if I see any issues, I'll let you guys know. I got the stove in. Had to jiggle it in a little bit in there because it kind of goes underneath. One part of it goes underneath the sink. What helped a little was to loosen up the sink a little bit, this side of the screws, and then I was able to kind of tuck it in there. And then you do these 2 screws there for the stove. And then your holder here, that's this piece here. You'll find that part. It's got a long number. It's just plastic piece with 3 holders for the pots. And that you install from the bottom here. The sun's in my way there. But 2 of the small screws underneath there. Next we're gonna find part 9 and part 10. They kind of look the same, but 9 and 10 make one piece. 9 and 10 on the other make the other piece. So make sure you use 9 and 10 to make one of these pieces. The way you're gonna line these up, you'll see these grooves. These grooves line together. There's only grooves on one side. Only on this side. You line up those grooves. Now you're gonna use 2 screws. They're pre-drilled here. The screws H and I. The longer screw is gonna go on this hole here, the longer screw here, the shorter screw there. So the longer screw on this hole and the shorter one here. You have to align those. Maybe get a helper or a clamp on a table, kind of get them nice and aligned and screw them in. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. All right, once you got both pieces of 9 and 10 done, that's one, this is the other. Then you're gonna get 11 and 2 pieces of 12. Notice the angles here. 11 is gonna slide in through here. And then 12 will slide into this slot right here. Same over here. This is gonna create a flat. And then 13 is the only one that's gonna get screwed in, holding it all in place. It's gonna have screws right here that go same H and I's. Again, the shorter screw will go on this end, longer screw on this. All right, I'll put that all together. It's just a giant puzzle. And again, the only thing you screw is this at the end. These just fit into there. And the 2 puzzle pieces are done. Now these go on top of here, on the front, and on the back. And this is where I find out that I shouldn't have put the 2 side windows, because I need access to screw from down here. You see my finger down here, up to the roof. There's some pre-drilled holes there for those 2 pieces to come on top. But I only screwed in 2 screws on that because I figured I might come across something like this. So out with the windows. Windows are out. Yep, my son already gave his house a number. Okay, these is gonna go on top of here. Just flush it on the corners and in the front. Nice flushed edge there. If you want to show the Kidcraft logo, this is how you would use it. Unfortunately, mine has that damage there, so this one is gonna go toward the back, or I can just flip it. Either way, it's the same on both sides. And then you'll access the screws from the bottom here. The holes, the pre-drilled, open the door. There's another one, 2 there, and another one here. And screw away. And that's what I'll be doing next. And that's that with those 2 installed. Those are E-screws that you'll be using on those. It'll be 4 on each. Let's go on to the next step. Next, find this little curtain. Gonna hang it here on the back, just above the doggy door. Type B screws with washers, just like the doggy door. This one's gonna go here. And curtains in. Let's see what's next. Next up is these 2 pieces. Looks like one clock faces in and the other clock faces out. They go on the back windows there, next to the curtain. You'll drill these from the inside. So hopefully you're not as big as me and you can get in there. But yeah, B screws on those on the left and on the right here on the back. These 2 pieces. So those are in. Again, you screw these from the inside. Hello, sir. There they are. And next step is these pieces, number 14. Need 2 of these. They're gonna go here. This pre-drilled on this piece here. You're gonna grab it from the inside here. 2 pre-drilled holes there. And this goes with the angle facing down. Just like that. Flush with the top there. One here, one on the other end. This is gonna go flush both on the top here. Flush with that other piece there. Also flushed here on this piece here. So flush on top, flush on the side. E-screws. Next you'll get these pieces. These are 15, number 15. These go here. Attached to the piece we just put on. And onto the frame of the house. Pre-drilled. Again, the longer screw goes on the inner hole. And you're going to use screws E and F. Longer screws in the inner hole. And those are it, installed. Remember, the pre-drilled holes are on this. You're drilling from here to the top. The reason I say this is because there's a hole here that can confuse you. But that's just a pre-drilled hole for what's coming on top. All right, here we got planks 16, 16, and 17 at the end. So 16, 16, 17. Make sure you line up this first one with the high end first, and then the low end here. This is a tongue and groove kind of thing. The next one kind of goes on that groove, and then the next one kind of goes on that groove. And we're gonna line them up nicely and use a bunch of A screws. For now, we're just doing this end and this end. And the next steps we'll insert another wood piece underneath these boards that are gonna hold on to the rest of these. So right now, let's line these up and screw them in with A screws, type A screws. And that's how that looks. Next is number 18 pieces. They're gonna go underneath these pre-drilled holes on these boards. Pretty much you just wanna get it aligned with those holes there. And flush with the top corner up there. It's gonna overhang there. But on the top you want it to be flush with the boards, of course, so that the boards are even. Alright, I'm gonna start drilling these in. Alright, those pieces are in. Next is number 19. Number 19 goes up here. You gotta center it and flush it. Not sure what that's for yet. But let's install this piece next. Okay, 19 or 9, it's in place. I use this type C screws. And on to the next. Sorry, that was part 19 on the middle there that I just did. Not 9, part 19. Now we're gonna use 6 with E screws. 6 is gonna go on the window openings. There's 2 pieces, one on each, one over there, one over here. Just put them here. Nice and flush. Drill them from the bottom up. All right, those pieces are in. Now we do the windows. From the inside out. You screw them from the inside out with type B screws. The windows are in. Now you gotta find this piece. This is for the roof. Don't screw anything in yet until you put the sides of the roof. Let me get one of the pieces of the roof and put it on there. That piece you just lay there for now. Well, this is the part where you need 2 people. You put up the beam and you put the panels underneath the beam. Twist this beam closed to lock in here with these grooves. Do one side at a time. Have someone hold here. Start with the top screw. Make sure you're aligned with the wood. Come down the road here. Same on this side. And same on this side. And these are all type C screws all around the roof of it. And you're gonna need 2 pieces of the 24. You can see them in there in the little corner angles. There's 2 of them. You need somebody in there holding those pieces really hard, because the other person is going to be screwing in a couple of C. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the lighting here. The other person is going to be screwing from the top. So you need somebody inside the house pushing up on these so the screw goes in good. And that's just 2 pieces. And you see the screws up here. That one, and that one. And on the other side as well. Mine's is still loose because fortunately I didn't have someone else that could reach there. My 6-year-old couldn't reach, and he didn't have the strength either to go against my strength to let that screw go in. It's probably the hardest part of this house. All right, we're almost at the end of this, doing the fence. We have here the piece. These 2 pieces are labeled 20. And then that one up there is 21. This one's 22. Just lay them out like this with the slants all facing you. And what you're gonna do is just put these on there, flushed. So you can see there's a little ledge there. You're gonna put this one on that ledge and screw them in, pre-drilled already, and you'll be using G screws. And that's how those 2 pieces look screwed on. You're gonna put 20 and 21 together, 20 and 22 together. Again, G screws. When you screw these in, put your impact drill at a low setting because it'll crack this wood. And now, what you're gonna do is, so this is how you want it to look. All the stakes facing inwards and up. This one goes on the right side of the house, screwed in to the side here. And then this one, same thing on the left side of the house.
This is a dinosaur.
Screwed in here. And that's how that looks, screwed in. Again, flush right here, top and bottom. You can measure from the bottom of the house to this here if you want an exact measurement. They don't really tell you that in the instructions, but if you're on a more flat surface and you want it to look even, it'll be a good idea to measure it. Here I'm just in the grass, but looks pretty good. Last part is these stakes that they provide. Pretty much pre-drilled holes. Gonna pound this into the ground and then drill it onto this wood. I'm not gonna do that right now. I don't think this is gonna be the permanent spot for it. But that's the idea, kind of to hold it in place. And then the birdhouse hangs from here. The little planters are in. Those go attached to this piece here. Uses C screws. 2 screws on each planter. Just kind of center it to your preference.
Yeah.
The birdhouse, you have 3 pieces. This piece, and the roof. Pretty much fold this to this shape. It's gonna go in there. It'll click in. You'll hear it clicking. Got one hand, so I gotta do that off camera. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. Needed both hands to put that together, but that's that. Hopefully that'll last, because it's already looking kind of white there from the bend. Then the roof of the birdhouse, you have these little clips here that kind of clip on to these here. Again, just fold it and get it to click in there. There's the birdhouse. Birdhouse is gonna hang from the side with a D screw with a washer. You're just gonna hang it here. The idea is for the circle opening to look forward if it holds there. So I'll screw that on now. And that's the Kidcraft Lakeside Bungalow completed. For the most part, you could do this one person. I'm 5'6". I can reach the top of this house here. But keeping this in place while you're screwing it is the hard part, where you need a second person to hold it there. And then also, like I said previously, in here, getting those things to hold there while somebody else screws. That's another 2-person job. Other than that, everything should be done by one person. No, it doesn't need to be a tall person. And that's that. Hopefully that's a helpful video for you guys. And thank you for watching.